Welcome to Figuring Out Homestead Life with Ginny and Allison.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Ginny. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. As long as the dogs don't bark in this episode, I'm good.
My cats are converging on me, so we might hear cat noises.
Nice. Nice.
What's been going on with you guys?
Oh boy, what's not going on with us? So we are trying to, we're finishing off the beef to get it ready to go to the butcher. So, sorry, Lucy and Ethel are, in a month, they'll be heading to freezer camp. So we are finishing them off, and I ordered some special feed for them. And let's see. Let's talk about something happier. This past weekend, I attended a women's financial conference, which was pretty awesome. It was really good. I went as a vendor, but then I also was an attendee, so that was cool. And they talked about wellness and your personal identity and internet banking and the economy and finances.
Interesting.
So, yes. The person that was discussing the finances, she's got a very optimistic outlook. So, she's a financial planner, so...
Okay, so of just like the economy in general, her outlook was optimistic?
It was extremely optimistic, so I don't know.
Huh. Well, that's good, I guess.
Yes, I hope she's correct. For all of our benefit.
Right.
Yeah. So that I went to, and then I also had a table where I was selling soap and honey. So, yes.
That's awesome.
Made some new customers.
Cool. And that was like local to you guys, obviously, then I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was in the event was in Corning, so they're all local people. So
Cool.
Yes, it's pretty cool. I also found a new podcast to listen to. I think it's called Positively Living. She's a local, like a lifestyle coach.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've
Cool.
started listening to her podcast a little bit.
So would you meet her at the event?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay.
She was one of the presenters. She was talking about personal identity. And I would have to review my notes to go into detail about what she was talking about. But yeah.
Cool.
Yes. Election day is coming up. Important.
Mm.
On the local level, election day is important. So November 7th, everybody make sure you get out there and vote for your local things. And then Veterans Day is coming up, November 11th. So, yeah. Today I made I made the dough for the crackers, the discard crackers.
I'm making that today too.
And I'm trying cinnamon. So I'm trying cinnamon, and I might do like a little cinnamon and sugar dip after they come out of the oven. Maybe?
Yeah, that would be good.
And then I'm trying, and I sent you a picture, Jenny. I'm trying the Pop-Tarts again. This time I'm trying maple brown sugar, and I'm thinking I should not have added butter to the maple brown sugar mixture.
Yeah, it looked like it was leaking a little, maybe.
A lot. Yes. Yes. It's nice and caramelized. It smells delicious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll include a picture of that in this episode. For those that are watching on YouTube, we'll include a photo. For those that you are not, maybe I'll put it on my Instagram.
Yeah, we can put it on Instagram.
Yeah. Yes. So what about you? What's going on with you?
I don't feel like too much. Still treating my little chickadee there for her bumblefoot. Just been making bread and made some cranberry sauce yesterday, getting in that kind of holiday stuff mode.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing too exciting though, I don't think, other than that. Just regular life.
Regular homemaking life.
Yes.
I too have made some bread and sent the loaf with Randy to work today for one of his coworkers. And I have pretty much devoured the second loaf myself.
That's okay.
It's really good.
I did try to make a sourdough loaf to look like a baked turkey.
Oh.
It was kind of a fail, but I think I'm going to try again.
Okay. Did you take a picture of it?
I did.
Keith
It
had?
was it was it was very sad looking. It looked a lot better before I baked it. Like it kind of looked like a turkey before it went in the oven, and then it was like, okay. Olive is joining us.
Hello, Olive. Hello, Kitty. She's so pretty.
She's a
Pretty
little
kitty.
fatty cat. She needs to go on a diet.
Yeah, I know some goats that need to go on a diet. Oh, speaking of which, I did have a comment, not online, but a comment asking about veterinary care for goats. So that's something we didn't really discuss besides our own experience with that. Finding a goat vet, a goat that deals a veterinarian that deals specifically with goats, not a goat that deals specifically with veterinarians, but finding a vet that deals specifically with goats and that would actually make a farm call or a homestead call specifically for goats is very, very difficult. So it's always best to learn as much as you can. And fortunately for you, Ginny, you have the vet tech experience. So you've got your own resource there. So
Yeah. Because, well, I mean,
Side note.
have you ever had to bring your goat in? So you have someone that comes to the farm, right?
we used to. They stopped making farm calls for goats specifically. So I have had to load goats in the back of my SUV to take them to the vet on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
So
that must be a fun drive.
it's the funnest part is getting them into the back of the SUV.
Right.
So typically,
gosh.
if they're sick, they're not up moving around.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I took one was with Lorraine, and she was very, very, very sick. But I also took her kids with us. So her kids, Maggie and Max, I took them with us just so that one, the vet could see how active the kids were, and that it was not something that the kids were, they weren't suffering, and it wasn't related to her kidding, but there's something else going on. So
Yeah.
that did not end well. So
Right.
let's talk about disappointment.
Yes. So that's our topic for today, dealing with disappointment on the homestead and life. Do you want to get started?
Okay, so Ginny, have you experienced disappointment on your homestead in your life?
Well, recently, as some may know, if they've been following the past few episodes over the summer, we were planning on trying to move. That ended not in the way in which I had hoped. We are not moving as far as right now. We may revisit that in the spring, but likely I'm thinking we aren't going to be moving in the near future, which is disappointing. Not that I'm not grateful for where I live. I love my house. We have a beautiful home and it really has, it has everything we need as far as a house, but just the land is not ideal for what our long-term goals are. So I was looking forward to kind of going down that path more and expanding upon things that we've learned here, but that's, on hold for now. So that is a disappointment.
Yes, yes, and your turkey loaf.
Yeah, my turkey loaf.
Yes.
That was more funny than a disappointment, but yeah.
Yeah. Some disappointments are on the scale of disappointments, they're like extremely minor, and then on the scale of sick animals, pretty major. Yes, yes. So disappointments for me, I mean, life is full of disappointments, and I always feel like things happen for a reason, and maybe it's just not time yet. And when the time is right, the time will be right for things to happen. That's kind of where I'm at with disappointments and dealing with disappointments. I think you get to a certain point as you age that disappointments don't hit as hard. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and well, for me to deal with them, so I'm a Christian, so I do have like that perspective to come into it. And I know that there is a bigger plan in play that I am not in charge of. And I don't know everything that's yet to come. So things don't always make sense to me when they're happening, why they're happening. But I just have faith that this is how it's, yeah, like you said, like this is how it's supposed to be. And I don't know why, but it is for a reason. And I may never know the reason. Sometimes I may look back and then be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad that that happened. You know, that's the way it was meant to be, or I might not at all.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it helps to deal with things if you have that kind of bigger picture.
100%. And then you're saying that, I can see that, we'll go down this road of oversharing. So for those that don't know, I am divorced. No, but I'm remarried. And while divorce is a major disappointment, I would not be where I am today. I wouldn't be living here today if that path hadn't been forged for me.
Mm-hmm.
God's hand. Like, I love where I am at, I can't speak. I love where I am right now in life. So disappointments happen and things work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't wish divorce on anyone though. So. Okay.
So
Happy
any
times.
other any other specific like kind of things that you want to get into? Or
Randy and I joke around. For me, it's not really a joke. I always tell him to keep his expectations low.
mm-hmm.
So that way you're not quite as disappointed as you would be if you have these expectations of other people. So keep your expectations low. And I'm not saying don't expect things from other people. However, you really can't expect other people to act or behave in a certain way. They're going to be who they are, and you need to allow that to happen. So keep your expectations low.
Yeah, Luke always says expectations leads to like resentment because if you even so like with hosting an event or doing something kind for someone, if you then in turn like, oh, I'm going to do this and they're going to be so thankful and they're going to be so surprised or whatever, and then you don't get that level of appreciation back that you felt you deserved, then you're like, oh, well, why did I even bother then?
Yeah.
So,
You don't really know what other people are thinking. And so you've experienced this with me personally. I set my expectations of how things are going to work out. Ashley's bridal shower. The setup. Sorry.
yeah.
Jenny, you know where I'm going with this. It's like I had a mental list of things that needed to get done, but I did not share that list with everybody who was trying to help. And then I got angry and frustrated because I was doing everything. It's like, well, nobody knows what else to do because you've ordered the list in your head. So if you expect other people to help you, you need to verbalize that and maybe make a written list so that people can see like, oh, I can take this off her plate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. That is helpful. The shower was beautiful and worked out very well, in my opinion, though.
It did. Yes, it did. It turned out beautifully.
Couldn't put the meat out with all the cheese and crackers and all that stuff, but
Say that
it
again.
got out there. We almost didn't put all those meats out with the food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh, no, but it worked out good.
It did work out. Everything was good. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. And yeah. And they've been married for almost a full year.
I know I have it on my calendar because it's like around the 19th, right? Okay, because I remember it was like my birthday weekend, I think, when we were there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. So, anything else you would like to talk about? I was thinking for disappointment, like situational, animals, farm life, moving is a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
Oh,
right now.
sorry, go ahead.
Interest rates are pretty disappointing for making purchases.
Yep.
So, you know, thinking about that, maybe, you know, God has a plan for you, and Luke.
Mhm.
Interest rates really are not great.
They are not.
So
No, no.
there is that.
Yeah, and I think so. I do have some disappointments like regards to animals. Like our rooster didn't work out. He ended up being very aggressive. We had to say goodbye to him, and that was disappointing because I did really love him, which sounds silly, but whatever. That's me. So, that was a little bit of a disappointment, but we move along. Yeah, I mean, we have had other things in the past. We attempted to, before we got our second dog, Billy, we tried to bring home another rescue dog, which did not work out. And it was obvious it wasn't the right dog for us immediately. So we gave the dog back to the shelter straight away. And then we're kind of publicly shamed on the internet from the shelter because of it.
From the
So that
shelter?
was, yes. So that was very disappointing and emotional, and a whole lesson learned of not jumping into things too quickly, especially a big decision like that. So yeah, that was an interesting time.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes. So I mentioned Lucy and Ethel are heading to freezer camp soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so Randy's been working with the livestock hauler, and the livestock hauler is trying to tell Randy that they're not big enough.
Oh,
And
like by what standard?
What's that?
Like how, and big enough, like by whose standard is saying whether or not they're big enough?
I don't know whose standard he's using. He had Randy convinced that they were only 7 months old. But I'm like, they're 17 months old.
Right.
They're at the age where it's time.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent a text to the butcher's wife, and I was like, so Randy's talking to the livestock hauler, and he's trying to tell us they're not old enough or big enough. And so I sent her pictures, and it's really hard to judge their size in photos. And she's gonna talk to her husband tonight, who's the butcher, and we'll go from there. But they are the right age. She said as long as they're finished off, which just preps their body for, I guess, the butchering process. They pack on a little bit of fat to help the marbleizing and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Now, who is this livestock hauler? Is he like employed directly from the butcher? Like, who is he affiliated with?
He's not. He's the hauler that brought them to us.
Oh, okay.
So he brought them from Randy's friend's farm to us almost a year ago. A year ago this month.
So then he obviously should know that they're more than 7 months old.
That's what I said, and Randy's like, well, if he hauls a lot, he may not remember exactly when he hauled them. I was like, well, it was a year ago, and they were 5 and 6 months old at that time. So actually, one is 18 months and one's 17 months. So
interesting.
They say that you want to take them before they turn 2.
Okay.
So yes.
Why does he even care? I don't even understand. Like, why? Like,
that was my question. Sorry. I was like, he's getting paid no matter what.
Yeah.
So
like, we're paying you to bring them there. Like, what difference does it make to you?
I mean, if he doesn't want to haul them, we will find somebody else to haul them.
Huh. That's interesting.
Dear. Yeah. He sent Randy a text, it'll be a shame to butcher those 2 heifers. It's like, sorry. Okay. For those of you just listening, you cannot see the exasperation on my face.
You're missing all the good facial expressions.
I'm full of them today.
Oh gosh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's just weird. I don't know. It's like, we're not idiots. We don't know everything that we're doing because we are figuring out this homestead life. But it's like,
but you do at least know how long you've had 2 giant cows on your property.
Like, yeah. I know how long I've been feeding them, too.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So anyway, it'll be disappointing if they come back and say, nope.
Is there a way that you can estimate what their weight is? Or,
Yeah, I think you can tape them, like
okay.
take measurements.
Yeah.
Don't think Ethel will let me take any measurements off of her.
Yeah. I was going to say, would they even allow you to do that?
Lucy would. Ethel, no.
Hmm. Okay.
And I think Ethel is a little bit bigger than Lucy, so
Hmm.
yeah. Claire will, but Claire's not
Yeah.
going anywhere, so yeah.
How big
Claire's.
is Claire now? She must be getting pretty big.
I think she's still little. I look at her and I think she's little. She's got a round little belly though, that's for sure.
No.
Um,
Well, you're also seeing her compared to the two big ones, so maybe that's why.
yeah. So, hold on. May, June, July. She is 5.5 months, and that is between the ages of between Lucy and Ethel's age when they first came here. And to me, she
Hmm.
is so much smaller than them.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I wonder if she's a little stunted, maybe because she never was like with her mother. I don't.
Yeah, that could be very, very possibly because it took her longer to get some colostrum in her than
Hmm.
regular, a normal calving does. So, yeah,
Hmm.
that could be. That could be. She's a slow grower.
Nah, she's a little cutie though.
Yes, she is. She's my friend. She's my buddy. I like to just go sit out in the barn with her, scrub her
Aw.
cheeks. Yeah. I look forward to cow cuddling with her when she's older.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. I don't have a lot more to add. Oh, yes, I do. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about with disappointment?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think you just, as long as you don't like let it get the best of you, just always know that there's something else out there and just keep plugging along
Yep.
because there'll be
Trust.
wins and fails all the time. So,
Trust. Pray.
yep.
Don't dwell on things. Let things
Hmm.
go. Know that they're out of your control.
Yeah, I think that's the huge thing is don't get stuck on stuff that you can't control because you're not just brooding over it and saying why this, go this way is not going to change the fact that it happened. So
Mm-mm.
just try to move along.
Move on. Move on. I like your ficus tree. I'm assuming that's a ficus.
Yes, I've had that since I was in high school.
Is it real?
Yeah, it's
It's a
moved with
living
me
tree?
many different houses. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I looking.
Cool. Very cool. So, you want to talk about what our plan is for the rest of the year with our podcast?
Yeah, so I think we are going to be going to every other week. We are going to be taking a short break after December 7th. Is that going to be our
Yes.
December date? I believe so.
December will be our last episode for this season, our first season. So,
Hmm.
this is episode 22, right?
Yep.
So we'll have
So we'll end
25
with
episodes.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll take a little break over the holidays because that is, I'm sure all of you know, a very hectic time with family and traveling and baking and all the things. So,
Yes. Yes. So then we'll come back. Well, we're not taking a break now. We're just going to switch to, as you said, every 2 weeks. So we will have, after this episode, we will have 3 more episodes, which will put us at December 7th. And then we will take a break until January 4th.
and we'll come back ready to go.
Ready to go.
Rested.
We will work on a schedule of topics. Maybe some of them we've already addressed. Maybe there's lessons learned.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you guys have topic suggestions or questions that you would like us to answer, message us on Instagram and we can just kind of start compiling them and do those in a future episode. That would be cool.
That sounds lovely.
So is that it? Are we good?
I think we're good. This is a short episode.
Okay, short and sweet.
Hopefully it'll be easier for me. Oh, let's talk about disappointment. Wait a minute. So I've been kind of disappointed with the process of editing these podcasts. So I'm hoping that with the videos that I watched today, it will go smoother. We'll find out. So, sorry, I'm done, Jenny.
Yeah, we're gonna release a new podcast, Figuring Out Podcast Life.
Yes. Oh dear, it's been fun.
Technology is great.
It is. It is. It is. Actually, it really is. It's wonderful. However, it's frustrating. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Getting to work is another thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so we thank you for joining us today. If you would give us a 5-star review on wherever you're listening to this podcast, we would really appreciate it. Leave us a kind comment, share with your friends. You can also find us on Instagram at Figuring Out Homestead Life. You can watch the video version of this podcast on Allison's YouTube, which is Zig and Vine Homestead. She's also on Instagram, Zig and Vine Homestead, and I am Mrs. White Homemade Life on Instagram and YouTube. So find us on all the places, and we would appreciate you joining us.
Bye.
Bye.